Well, this is where
It was a cult with sex involved. I'll give you that
because
much.
no, you know
but,
what was
I mean,
crazy? The way they like introduced that was like one of the like townies locals was like saying that he just saw this like fancy European guy like dressed all in orange, and he was just like, "They're coming." And you're like, "Oh my god!" Like it sounded like an alien invasion. Do you
Yeah.
know
But
what
I
I mean?
feel like that did happen. Like he
He
was
just, like,
probably like,
dramatized-
"Hey, they're
Yeah.
coming!" Like
yeah.
very
just, like,
excited.
foretelling the end of
like,
times.
I was
"Let
like,
time is
damn,
nigh."
like it's the beginning of like an alien invasion movie.
Yeah.
And like, could you imagine just seeing like little hordes of like people all dressed in like orange and
Right.
red, and then like literal trailers moving like houses and stuff? Like that's crazy.
I mean, if they're minding their own business, what's the?
Absolutely not.
Would you not be shook?
Absolutely
like
not.
thousands of people coming at you in orange. You have like
I mean, when you say
Never
coming
been out
at
of-
you, do you mean just like existing around you?
like
or
a
is it
mob,
they
like
didn't-
bigger than a
bigger? I mean,
a parade? You know what I mean?
It's
Like
not that hard to outpopulate a town of
it
40.
is.
You know.
Yeah, but they didn't threaten them at all.
no, but
They
I'm saying
didn't-
I'd be
They
intimidated
didn't
as fuck.
invade their town at all.
Look, to tell
Until
you
they
to
meet,
tell
like-
you honestly, like as I get older, like being completely honest,
Mm-hmm.
I don't love hearing about other people's sex escapades. Like I don't care.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
want
that
to
part.
know.
That part I
for
definitely
sure.
And that like
agree with.
just to
Yeah.
be living your life and seeing people like screwing by like a tree or something like
Yeah.
that is not something that I'm
Right.
interested in.
Right.
Totally.
Freedom of sex doesn't mean it has to be out in the open.
Well, it's
you know?
illegal to have sex out in the open,
Yeah.
so
To you.
Exactly.
you know,
Right.
like they have. I felt like they had every reason to be like at least a little upset, like that. I mean, especially growing up in like a town of 40. Like, do you know?
You know everyone. Like
Literally everyone. Like you have been inside every single person's house because there's 5 houses
You can kind of
total.
hold it two hands.
Granted,
and
it is-
bro,
it's
you
a-
have kids. You really want to be walking around with your kids like
With a bunch of hippies, basically. Like that's what they saw them as.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like I would not be stoked on that either. But they initially weren't like
Right.
a
yeah.
well, they were aggressive, I guess, but like they let it happen. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they let them get established, and then
No,
they
yeah,
were
they said that let's see what happens, right?
yeah,
They
because
had that
as far as they
mentality
were
of-
concerned, they were only farming the land
Right.
and they were doing a good job farming the land.
yeah.
And it wasn't until the moment they said we're building a fucking city that everybody
Yeah.
was like, we don't want a goddamn
Okay,
city here.
But
Yeah.
I thought them building a city from scratch was super inspirational.
It's amazing.
It
like
was
when you think about
impressive,
it,
but,
like
like-
that's
It kind
that's a crazy pull of resources,
Right.
like to just come into this wasteland and then make a whole ass city.
If religion was not involved.
It
If you
kind
could-
of okay. Don't act like religion's not involved in our society today, though.
But that's what I'm
No
saying.
facts.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
Right, okay.
That's the problem.
Right, but they were also like throughout the whole like thing, they were always mentioning like little tidbits of like, oh, we're like manipulating this law that exists. Like half the time, like with the lawyers too, like they're just talking about how like
You're burping up the bog wash.
I am burping up the bog wash, but
Bog-
anyway, like
backwashing.
no, they'd
Backwash.
always
Backwash.
they'd always mention like, oh, like we like manipulated this law, or I mean at least like the townspeople would say like, oh, they manipulated this law, like even the what is it, like the marriage licenses. I think that was like episode 1 or 2.
Oh,
That's actually more.
Yeah, that's the
No,
towards
but
the
they
end
don't. They
because
actually
the
don't
last,
reveal it till the end.
Right.
the last 4
spoiler.
episodes are the craziest ones.
There's
Yeah.
6.
That's the thing.
Because
Okay.
that's like they don't frame anything of what they're doing as illegal until like the end where they like start to
Yeah.
or like it's like all revealed.
Shit hits the
But
fan.
like but like when they're coming in making it like a town, like I don't know, I thought that was kind of
I was
amazing.
super
like-
inspired. Yeah, so they took this completely unusable land. It's just all desert. They built pretty much a city overnight. They built these cute little A-frame houses.
But the problem
yeah.
is that they're making their own police department. They're making
Yeah.
their own.
Wait,
that's the problem.
yeah.
The building blocks of a city though, that's just
Right.
But
comes
that's
with
the
it.
thing. Like, it's not by the
No,
state
I know.
or
But
anything else.
I'm just talking about the good stuff that I was inspired by.
Okay.
Yeah.
They made
okay.
an entire lake, and brought the
brought
environment.
wildlife
They
back.
brought wildlife
Yeah.
back to where it used to be before it was unusable land.
Yeah.
They made their own dams, which was cool. They built it all of this stuff overnight. They had self-sufficient farming.
Kenny's an
tactics.
engineer. We should
Yeah.
probably like say that.
Environmentally,
He's an environmental engineer, so this is like all up his alley.
You know, like the fuck them kids meme.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like fuck them earth.
Sorry.
But you know what I will say about like that. Like when Sheila's talking about it, she was like, okay, the followers, the meditation, those who are just about the beliefs, they come later. First, we need to make this settlement.
About building.
And I'm
right.
like, I kind of feel like that specific moment,
Is
like
what
that
you need,
mentality
yeah.
is what made the switch
Yeah.
of like, now it's taking on its own life of like greed and like ulterior motives. Cause like,
Right.
I feel like at first when it was like in India and stuff, it was just kind of an escape for rich white people and they were taking their money to like meditate.
Yep.
Which is like fine. It's an exchange. It's a service. They
Right.
they consent to that. And then like to take it to then like we are now like it kind of became
Using
more
that money.
brainwashed and using the money and using their trust to like fund a whole city.
Right.
You know, that's when I think it really took a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And that's when I was like, I'm not down
self-sufficient
anymore.
Agriculture.
That's tight.
Reusable water. And they made boutiques and, you know.
All right.
They like
whatever.
sold their own clothes to the people.
Listen,
yeah.
you want to join a cult? That's your own
No,
thing.
it just, what I like about it is it gives me a glimpse of like a future, like a post-apocalyptic future where we can rebuild. And,
well, now
you
we
know, it gives
know
me kind of
most
hope.
likely to join a cult is Kenny.
Probably
Yeah.
me, to be honest.
Kenny, and if not, start your own cult. I'd
Yeah.
be down to join it.
I would
myself.
not
wouldn't
follow
start
Kenny.
his own cult.
I would
do
not
not.
follow
Kenny,
Kenny.
You don't
Kenny,
have the.
I would-
Cult of Kenny.
Kenny, I would join your
Stamina.
cult. Podcaster listeners, you can't tell, but
Cult
we're,
of me
we're
and
holding
Chris.
hands right
We're
now.
holding hands, if you can't see. You
Yes.
probably, you will not see.
I reject this, and
I
I,
do
will be
too.
the one to bring you guys down with the law.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gio would.
Come at me.
I can think of like 10 like of your actual friends
Ken
who would
Wan.
also try to bring you down.
My
It's
actual
like,
friends.
like your friend, like people who love you that
And
just
be
be like,
your own
I hate
homies.
you, Kenny.
We
Like,
have to assassinate Kenny.
Yeah, take the shot. I'm shaking. I'm like clicking.
Everyone's like fighting over it. Who
Yeah.
gets to do it?
Oh yeah,
Honestly.
no, like, we're just like the problem is that we're trying to like take the sniper away from each other to like take it.
like who gets to do it?
We're just like, come on. I'm
The
just
cult
kidding.
of Kenny. We all have to like laugh like Kenny also.
Should we like also mention the connection to Jonestown? Like,
That's where
They were compared to
That's where they
Jonestown.
got fucked off the bat because conservative people just automatically associated them with Jonestown.
Well, how could you not?
First of all, calling them a cult is okay. They are kind of.
How could you
they're a
not?
cult. Do not excuse this.
Okay,
Do
okay,
not
okay.
diminish it.
Right.
It's
They
a
were-
motherfucking cult.
They're a cult, but,
Yeah.
but I mean,
They're a
cult has such a.
It's
That's
a negative thing
connotation
because
for
it
sure.
is a negative thing
Yeah.
that they did. It's a cult.
Right.
Yeah.
People suffered from this, Kenneth. Just because they built a happy little good lucky city
Self-sustaining
People
agriculture.
died for
doesn't
Reusable
mean
water.
that people did not die and people did not suffer.
Right.
Which is why
Yeah.
this is a true crime documentary.
Yeah.
Well, nobody died.
Well,
Who
they-
died?
A lot of people died.
I mean, people die all the time.
Chris, you said that really far from the mic.
Oh, sorry. People die all the time is what I said.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, you got it, Chief.
Anyways, the connection was a U.S. Senator, Leo Ryan, the one that was killed while visiting the Jonestown compound.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter actually spent his life insurance money to become a Rajneeshi.
Yeah.
Something in that family.
It's just a weird little connection.
that's a lost family,
Just
man.
connects them to Jonestown.
That makes me curious.
How
Like,
much money do you think they
yeah.
spent on Kool-Aid?
I mean, how much money do they spend to get? Yeah, but like
The only reason why Kool-Aid's still around.
the explicit question, like how much? did they
Something
have to
sinister
drop
in
to
that
join?
smile.
Like, what was the suggested donation or something like that?
I bet it was at least $5,000.
Flavor Kool-Aid was
Yeah,
it?
I know.
At least.
I'm pretty sure people devoted like their life savings.
How much is
to
a
that.
fucking Rolex?
PR
We're
must-
there's a lot of
This is
not
some-
economically
yeah.
well off people in this
Kool-Aid-
room that would never know.
the
And when we-
P-
when we
Kool-Aid's PR probably ripped their hair out after that.
Well,
I know.
There's like an episode that we'll talk about it later, but I do want to go back to this topic if time allows. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
do want to talk about like finances and stuff like that.
Oh, we'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Jonestown.
What
Oh,
do you
yeah.
guys think about the quote that Sheila said where she's like, where Jesus says turn the other cheek, we take both cheeks.
She's fucking ruthless.
She's so ruthless.
She would make
I
such
think
a good
it-
dictator.
I think it was her, like, and you know, like, there's the whole question of like, you know, her enacting, like Bhagwan's like telling her what to do, or it's like, did she really just like take a life of her own,
Right.
and like he just sat back and like let her,
No,
Right.
Yeah, that's-
because like she seems so ruthless, and it's like. Is it like if it took a turn because of her, which the lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
the Philip, Like he thought that's what it was. But you know, like I kind of think, yeah, like a very meek, like yeah, he thought that. But you know what I mean? Like, like I feel like, at least it seems like it all just took a turn under her leadership because she's a really ruthless, brutal
Right.
person. You know,
The problem is we'll never know because all that happened behind closed doors.
right? We'll never know.
And then they start videotaping the Antelope citizens and shining lights in their house.
Well, that was
Yeah.
after they had like
That's
guns, didn't they?
terrifying.
They were like rolling around in trucks with their guns.
Well, but like I mentioned earlier, like
So Ben Carey and
the citizens of
Oregon,
Antelope
so-
fired the first, or no, was it the citizens of Antelope or was it somebody else? But like the Rajneesh weren't the first ones to like
No,
They weren't.
take
They weren't.
action. The Rajneesh like they busted out guns, but they busted out guns in defense.
after the bomb.
After the fact.
After
And on
the
that note-
bomb.
Well, should we
that-
talk about the bomb then?
We'll talk about that after.
And on
there's
that
still those
note-
bunch of what?
Never mind, I forgot what I was gonna say. Moving on.
The episode, I think it takes place. The bombing takes place in episode 3, right?
I think so. Yeah. Well, why don't we move on?
Yeah,
Spoiler
we're
alert,
there.
there's
We're there.
a bomb.
Yeah.
We're there.
We're there.
So what they bombed? Did they bomb the hotel? Like this town, the city was so big they actually had their own hotel for like
Yeah.
visiting guests,
Like-
and the hotel got bombed.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
no.
at the very least,
Wasn't
they
it?
operated it, or at least were heavily involved.
They had
in its
already bought it
operation.
because they started buying property.
They had that whole
Yeah.
voting thing, right? Did we talk about the voting?
Oh, that's a
thing?
little
Oh, to make it a
that's
town.
later
This
down the
is
road.
kind of the thing that they didn't include in the documentary.
What?
That it was actually the hotel was bombed by Islamic militant.
It wasn't
Yeah.
bombed by
So
the
they
town?
They just thought
No, I
Oh,
know it wasn't
wow.
bombed by the town, but they were like
they took it as like
they were
okay.
attacked first.
Oh, wait,
in
yeah.
general.
because they started buying land
Yeah.
in Antelope, which is because they were calling them invaders, right?
Right.
Something. Wait, what
I
caused
mean,
them
if
to
they
buy
bought-
land in Antelope?
If they
Something
bought the
happened.
land, then somebody in Antelope
They
had
even
consent to
captured
it.
the dude and everything.
Yeah.
So.
But
Oh,
the
wow,
problem
that's
is
crazy.
they did a ton of this stuff legally, like within.
Yeah, that's what
they,
I'm
they
saying,
found
like-
loopholes, and what did she said? Sheila had a line about loopholes where like it's your loss if you like don't.
You're
think
not
of loop-
smart enough if you're not finding the loopholes.
right?
You're
And
just
she
playing-
found
Yeah.
a shit ton of loopholes, and she
Yeah.
did a lot
Yeah.
of this stuff legally. Obviously, she did a lot of stuff
Yeah, like even the
illegally
city
later
being
on.
erected,
Yeah.
like that was just like, oh, you need a population of like at least was it 50 or 100 or something
To
like
call
that?
it a
city, yeah.
Yeah.
20 people,
And just
20
like
people.
bam, like that's my land, that's my space. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make some shit about it.
So that's interesting. I actually didn't know that. I first, because of the documentary, I assumed it was the townspeople that bombed them.
Because they made it seem like
They made it seem that way. Yeah.
So I think the turning point for, I would hope, everyone is when they start bringing in the homeless people.
My
Yes,
turning point was
absolutely.
when they start bringing the guns.
Yeah.
The
I
gun-
agree.
mean, but the homeless
'Cause-
people though, like I feel like that was just a test. Like that was just them
They're
trying to get
objects.
like,
no, they-
like trying
no,
to
no,
get
they
numbers,
did it
trying
to-
to flex
But
numbers.
prior to that, they started organizing.
No.
It wasn't to
The
flex.
turning point, I don't mean the turning point for them becoming,
Oh, okay.
I mean for people being like, you guys are full of shit. You're,
Oh, absolutely. When they talked about, is that the third episode?
yes.
No, I thought that was the fourth. The homeless people?
No, it's the third.
Oh.
When they brought in the homeless people, I'm like, you're using this homeless people.
Well, they
But
did it. They did it for the vote.
That's
they
what
did
I'm
it for
saying.
the vote. But
Yeah.
what they said they were doing it for, we should be doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they did it for
Well,
the wrong
why don't you
reasons,
Yes, but
obviously.
also that's not just like you can just take homeless people in and wheel them in from whatever city they're coming from because you don't know what conditions they're in.
Right.
You don't know if they
That was
have
a huge
mental
problem. Mental
illnesses.
issues,
You
mental
don't
health issues.
know if they
Right.
have criminal records. If you have a city that has no crime whatsoever and you're risking the safety of your citizens.
Right. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of technical stuff that obviously should be considered. But the
was
ideal,
considered.
the ideal that's obviously, well, the ideal of taking disenfranchised people and giving them a place to get
To go,
re-franchised.
yeah.
I mean, who's not down for that? But obviously,
Yeah.
they did it for the completely wrong
Because
reasons.
it's like the people that pick up old homeless people from
Oh,
the
it wasn't even,
streets.
like, old homeless people. There was like
no,
an interview
yeah.
with somebody
I
that was, like, in their
no,
20s
I'm
or
using
what
an
was it?
example.
Okay.
I'm not talking about them. It's like people who take older homeless people and sign them up for life insurance
Right.
and then kill them to get the life insurance money.
Got it.
Is that-
No, I'm
is
not
that-
arguing with what happened to them. They obviously used them for political gain.
Yeah, the logistics, so why don't we give context to that? So, like, basically they were
what they promised them.
they were in a voting kind of was like stalemate basically to whether or not to like take over the town of to like put council members in Antelope and actually like rename Antelope to, I'm gonna let you say that because you say it amazing.
Rashnishpuram.
right.
Amazing. And so like, and because the people of Antelope were like gearing up to like for this vote, they were all gonna be like, you know, fuck this.
Because it was the whole it was like the whole Wasco County.
It was the Wasco
Oh
County.
yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
they moved on from Rajneesh to.
They're trying to take the whole state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They moved on from Rajneesh to Antelope, and now they're trying to take the whole county.
Yeah.
And then someone said in the pod or the documentary, like, oh, once you get to like trying to take over a county, that's a whole different issue. Like,
Yeah.
a bunch of people are gonna fight.
So like, so then that's why they brought all the homeless people for like the voting numbers, which is
A smart move.
it's very smart. It's legal, like technically, and so it's like, but then obviously like the logistics of it, like you could just tell that like none of them cared about the safety or overall well-being or even the teachings anymore.
They were just there for free food, free
Can I
housing.
also tell you
free
that
clothes.
I don't agree with someone just moving somewhere and voting for the like
We have to live there
But
for like
the problem
a while,
is,
no?
they said that Oregon is like
lenient.
to voting stuff.
No.
and they're acting within their laws.
No, I
technically.
totally agree with what they were doing,
Right.
and they were very smart for doing that. But as a person, I don't agree in any town, any place, because I know for, like Mexican, born citizens, they can still vote in Mexican elections, even if they're living over here.
Yeah,
Right.
And I just don't agree with that.
But
because it doesn't impact them anymore at that
Exactly.
point. Like I agree. Like that's the whole point. Like I mean, I always understood that like you have to be living in a state for a certain period of time to be able to like vote in what happens to that state. And like, you know, obviously they're skewing like what goes down. Like
right, but also, what about all the people who like vote in their own state who don't know anything about it and just
but that's, you know what I mean?
check the boxes?
Okay, but you live there, and
Yeah.
if you choose to do things that are gonna affect you,
Then
where
that's your
you
choice.
live?
Yeah.
Which was the whole argument. They're trying to prove that they intended to stay there, right? They can only vote if they intended to.
Right.
live
But you know
within
Sheila was
Washington.
like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
Sheila
a work
she
around
was
this.
gonna fucking kick them out the moment the vote had happened.
Well, they ended up kicking them out, didn't they?
exactly,
Right.
even
Yeah.
before the vote happened.
Because they didn't
Because
let- they didn't-
Sheila's
yeah.
life was threatened by one of them.
They didn't let
yeah.
them vote. Westco County didn't actually let them vote.
Yeah,
So like
Blocked them.
backfired
Right,
hard.
there was like 30 of them on the bus, getting out the bus, like, we're here to vote. And they're like, oh, you can't vote. And we're like, oh, shit. And they went back to the camp all angry.
no, but then also the
Yeah.
fact that they were sedating them, like,
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So that was like kind of the first illegal thing they introduced where it's like, oh, shit, this is actually
yeah.
fucking
This is actually
scandalous.
turning the tables around.
Yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
when
Yeah.
they were acting all rowdy, because obviously they didn't really care much about their teachings at all.
Right. They didn't go there with that intention.
Right, and
yeah.
so Sheila was obviously worried, and she sedated everyone by putting drugs in the free beer that they gave them,
Yeah.
which was crazy.
you
Yeah.
only get 2 a day.
Yeah, and no
Only
drugs. I think they wouldn't want to stay
There
there.
was
if they were not
definitely
allowed.
drugs.
They
like,
were definitely growing weed at least.
Yeah, at least.
They had all the farmland.
but well, it was actually
Missed
not farmable.
opportunity.
Yeah. No, I mean,
What do you mean it was not farmable?
Well, they made it farmable.
Exactly.
You're right.
So while they were living there,
Yeah.
might as well get some bang for your buck.
I feel like if they were growing weed though, like Oregon would come at them hard for that because it'd be a technicality, like that's hard to hide,
True.
you know. But no, they definitely were giving like sedating more people
Yeah.
than what
What
they
about-
made it
What
seem.
about all the homeless who like were doing a lot of drugs before they moved there? Like, wouldn't they go through like withdrawal?
Yeah, so that's what no, they brought it with them. That's what Gio's talking about. It's like they
Brought
you
their
know, like they're not
emotions
like
and, yeah,
reformed. They
instability.
weren't about the teachings. They just bring a bunch of people on the street into like families, which like in theory is really cool, but it's like it doesn't change their behavior. You know what I mean? Like even like homeless shelters, for example, like they don't allow drug use in the homeless shelters. So that's why they're kind of a flawed system, because then a lot of homeless people are like, well, I'm hella on drugs. Like I don't have a place to stay. Like I don't have that alternative.
Which-
Can you
leads-
imagine, like, also, like, you live in this community where it's supposed to be, like, crime free or whatever,
And they
Yeah.
have
and
a-
everyone knows each other, but you have kids and they're running around and you don't know what kind of people are
Yeah.
Once
I
they
mean,
bring
I
the
feel-
homeless, it's a whole different ballgame.
I mean, and
For
part of the
sure.
reason for that, like that we don't know too much about it, or like what happened is, I mean, they said, and on top of that, like they're like a peaceful society and all that, but they still have like their own like militant force.
Yeah, so they
present.
actually
That's-
weren't,
That's
peaceful. They,
that's and
Yes.
part. Or, I mean, for one, it came about from like.
But
an-
how quick did they become non-peaceful?
It seemed like
It was
very
as soon-
quickly.
yeah, it was as soon
It was a
as
switch.
Something happened. Yeah. As
Well,
soon as
Sheila-
they got guns, then they became hostile.
Yes.
Now you're proving the point of the people who are
But
against
that's
you.
what I'm saying. Like, if you're living there and they hadn't done anything,
And it just all takes a turn.
what if
Imagine.
something had pissed them off? Any little fucking thing, like, no, you can't buy the Antelope Cafe or whatever. And then
Yeah.
they, like,
Yeah.
it just shows.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, for sure. And that's kind of what happens. Like, yeah, that shit's crazy.
What's even worse with the homeless thing is that when they kicked them out, they just kind of just dropped them off in just random parts of town, and that is definitely not.
You know what's so
good.
crazy? Because that's like literally what we do to homeless people
It is. We
in our
drop-
cities every day.
We
It's
kick
so
them out. We
it's
make
so
them move
messed
to a
up.
different part of town. and
Like,
then
but like,
they-
yeah, they literally like pick them up, throw away all their shit,
Yeah.
like all of their possessions,
I
which to us, it seems like a bunch of crap, and then drop them off in like the poor part
Yeah.
of town, and it's just
you
like
have like a 1
tight.
day's notice to leave, and then
Or like Skid Row, like I heard like so many things that like if like homeless people go to the hospital, they literally will drop them off in the middle of Skid Row, like still with their little nightgowns and shit on, and just like there you go,
Right.
Like it's
right.
it's just a testament to like them like fake being woke and like trying to like help homeless people
Yeah.
and then just being like no.
And all the cities, I mean, imagine all those cities where they're just dropping off. And it's the homeless people they didn't want in their community. So it's the
Yeah.
homeless
But
people
we're
that
not
were
there.
already-
They're not kicked out yet.
Oh, they're not.
Oh, sorry. Spoiler, they get kicked out.
No, they don't. Just kidding, they do.
Fuck you, Chris. I'm
What?
just-
Just validating
So
your
then I
spoil.
think episode 4 is probably my favorite because I think that's where everything
Hits the
just
fan.
Reveals.
fucking-
That's where shit hits the fan, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The food poisoning.
Oh yeah, that
That-
was
The
savage.
salmonella.
Honestly, like as a really paranoid person, that like hurt me to my core. The fact that they spread it was
And
E.
salad
coli.
bar.
It was salmonella.
It was I thought it was
they
E.
just had it in
coli.
their it was salmonella.
Salmonella.
They just had it in their sleeve and they're just like,
And like in the salad bar,
Yeah.
just like salmonella, and I'm like, oh my! As someone who eats a lot of salad, that like made me so
grilled
scared.
salmon,
Also-
more like
also,
grilled salmonella.
Think about the dude that was fighting for this and telling them like, "I'm telling
Oh,
you,
and they called him
it's the
crazy.
Rajneeshi," and like literally nobody
Everybody's
like.
just like
Okay,
that's
yeah,
so-
but
you're
also
just trying
like
to blame
they're
them.
like, what kind of proof do you have? Like, I have no proof.
But he
I
was
have
right. I
have
feel like
proof."
that'd be
in the
me.
salad.
Straight up, that'd be me as a health inspector. Like, I'd be like, "I'm telling you, it's them,"
Yeah.
and like nobody would believe me. But then,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
like,
fucking wild.
and like let's talk about the fact that like he wanted to like inspect their lab or whatever. They're
Oh,
like,
they
oh,
fucking
that's
blocked them
they're like that's a
off.
storage
we
shed.
We don't have
Yeah.
the key.
What lab? There's no secret
what
lab.
do you mean you don't have
Yeah.
the fucking key?
It's like no, there's
But the fact
yeah.
that he knew and backed off was just like, I'm gonna get fucking killed today
Yeah,
if I
that was
have
smart.
to.
And then they
Yeah.
actually went into the
Smart
lab
guy
and
of
it's
the
like,
hour.
oh, there's like 3 secret exits into it or out of it, and
Yeah.
I think that's a later episode, but like, yeah, like
it's crazy.
it's fucked.
I think that's when like because I mean I like had a lot of empathy for them. I think
Until that
like
point.
until you're just like oh they have a secret lab for salmonella. Like oh my god,
Yeah, like this
chemical warfare. Like
Until
I
they-
wonder, with like
know
you know
they-
like there's a
they
lot of
said
movies
that was-
about that. It's like spreading mass disease, like chemical warfare, and you're like damn, were they like the first low
No,
key?
literally, they said that in the documentary. Like that was the very first, like, or I think that's what they said. Like that was the first like use of like,
like disease.
yeah, like disease or bacteria
Damn,
or cultures.
they
That makes
inspired a
you
lot
think
of
like
action
that
movies.
wasn't even. Oh, no, we'll get back to this because this isn't the last episode.
What did it
But-
for me was the organized military in the last one. When they started getting weapons, I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
But then okay, so then the Hollywood crowd comes in.
Wait, can we talk about when did they film the like the sessions? Like the fact that they actually like this documentary uses like real footage, like real documentary footage from
Oh, because they
these-
had like a media.
There was a snitch
yeah, there was like a
about-
It
videographer.
was a
Yeah.
German movie maker. I don't remember. his
No,
name.
that was the meditation thing.
Oh,
Yeah, like because that wasn't supposed to
But
be
all the
filmed,
footage
right?
that yeah, he didn't tell them he was gonna film.
But it's like, did he have like a 1980s GoPro? Like how like cameras were pretty big back then. Like I don't know how you
yeah.
low
It's
key.
just like, ah!
That video was like
that scared me. So like I was
scared
kind of
me.
I was down for the
when they described it,
meditation,
yeah.
but then like so basically it's like a room. Like the lighting's also really
I
bad.
It's
had
Suspiria. It's Suspiria. That
I
Yeah,
haven't seen it, but I have nightmare. I had nightmares the first time I watched it.
It's
I
scary.
couldn't
It's a
sleep.
lot.
because it's
horror
basically
movie,
it's
yeah.
like a room of like naked people, and like they're. I
the
mean,
walls
I
are all
was
covered with like
It's
cushion.
like
they're
a jump
cushion
Yeah.
scare
walls.
video.
I was
like-
down for like the beginning part. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just like kind of a hippie, but I wasn't super bothered by like the silent meditative all nakedness, whatever. I was like, okay, that's very European. How cool. But then when the aggression stage, like stage
Right.
2,
Explosion.
that shit's so scary. Like the way they were like coming out like women, like it looked.
Also, the fact that
It
that's
looked
not
really
really,
aggressive,
it's
like-
not really solicited sexual behavior because you're not really in control of your body or whatever. If it's a meditation, like
Yeah.
it's that anger moment or whatever, and someone just decides that they're angry enough to take your body. That's
That's what it looked like, right? Like
Yeah,
it looked
there was
like
the
they
one
were
guy
actually.
choking this girl.
yeah.
It looked like there was someone actually getting
If that's the
raped
only,
also. It was
yes,
was really scary.
It was completely
It was-
rape.
Right? It was really
If
scary.
that's the footage that we saw, we have no idea what we didn't see. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's true. Like and that kind of makes you wonder like how much of this was consensual? Are they in their right minds? Like that was actually like I kind of think that the documentary kind of should have put more of an explicit warning about that because that was a
Yes.
lot to see.
no,
Well, the
absolutely.
explicit
You
warning
know?
they did have is
should have
actually
had it, like-
part of the actual video. We're saying, oh, like be
this
warned
may
that
be,
this may be.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Because
That was
it's
a
like
lot.
the 80s.
It was
Yeah, I was like dual screening
a
my
lot.
like I was like on my phone and watching it, so maybe I did like miss that,
And
but
to
that was
the-
like a lot.
But it also doesn't define the entire community. And this was what's shown to the people of Antelope like first. This is what they're kind of first.
But
introduced
it's
to.
never been filmed, and I mean, yeah, I guess I kind of feel like it was like late in the game of them as a
Yeah.
society because like we said with was it Shanti? Ashanti.
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 No, the Ashanti, like the way she described it when
That
you
was
know
early
before
days.
it was the early days, like it seemed like they were like just like kind of like almost a weird like therapy session. And then this was very much like
No,
we're all
I
naked.
thought
It's like fluorescent lighting and we're
I
taking
thought she explained that this video was from the earlier days.
Was it?
Yeah, I think that's what she was explaining.
that's a lot. Then.
This was back in India, yeah.
Was that in India? Okay. It looked like a lot. And so like that definitely they were very strategic in not showing that video in the beginning because they didn't want to like
Yeah, the ruin-
shock you
like,
yet.
you off.
Yeah.
Start you off with that.
Yeah. That was a lot.
The
And
way
then
the documentary was made was organized was just brilliant, I thought.
Yeah,
I
it was
agree.
very, yeah.
it
'cause
told a very
you'd-
compelling story.
Yeah, you get drawn in, you know, to
The
cause, and then you're
cinematography
like,
too
oh,
was
wait,
really
yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Oh, and just the original score again was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine how they had to like reorganize things so like everybody had to meet like individually and not kill each other. I mean, I'd imagine they probably.
I don't
met,
think
like,
they individually
completely
met.
Separate.
They had to like fly to different countries for these people
Yeah.
because some of them got deported
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
or fled, you know.
Mhm.
yeah. Okay.
So we actually don't.
So, the Hollywood crowd comes in, which is like the
the rich elites.
fucking, yeah.
Late to the party, take
Hollywood.
it over.
Like
Party.
This is the
Fuck
trend
you
right
guys.
now. Oh, let's hop on this.
I was
Rock
actually really
on.
annoyed by that.
It just kind of reminded me of Mad Men, like a lot, where they're just kind of having these parties and they're like, hey, I went to India and there's more to life than this.
yeah.
Bhagwan, have you seen?
It's like we get
what
it. You're an
watches look like?
intellectual. You do a lot of acid. You're very cool.
I love how they introduced Bhagwan to drugs.
Yeah, they got him
They
addicted
give him like
to
laughing
drugs.
gas in that video of him being. Oh, was that later on in the? Okay.
And then this is when like Sheila starts losing it.
I would
Oh, right, 'cause she's
too.
being replaced.
I'd be furious. You know, it's like this like rich like Hollywood lady comes in and
The
she's like,
producer of the fucking Godfather.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
all people.
that's so tight. Well, I think that's why Bhagwan was fucking down. You know,
She was hot.
he's down to party. You know, and he like
Yeah.
he's into it.
Her husband was gross too.
Wait, her husband was the nurse,
after
the physician.
No, that was after.
Oh.
She was married to the producer of The Godfather first.
Crazy.
And that's when he decides to build like the doomsday
Doomsday
shelters.
Protocol.
yeah.
Okay, then Sheila was like, wait,
That's
what?
but that's when you fucking know your cult. That's it. That's
Yeah.
when you leave.
Once you
Become
start to
on
prep for
every
dooms-
other cult.
Once you
That's
start
when you
seeing them
leave.
make a massive batch of Kool-Aid, you're
Oh,
like, I gotta go.
Sorry, is this a secret password? I gotta go.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's
Gotta run.
like, I mean, there was a lot of stages of decline, but like that was also like super defining moment. Where
You know?
they take it
and
Hollywood.
that's when they start giving him the drugs.
I
They
also
start
got,
hooking
I also
him
got
up
the
on the
idea
drugs.
that Bhagwan was kind of just like done with the shit and was bored of it, so he wanted to try like new things. That's
But
what
then also
I
he's like
agree.
trying to decide to fucking die.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're like,
Well, he
how
tried
do
to
I kill
OD, right?
myself?
He's
tried to get
like
medically
he's like
sedated.
this is my plan when the time comes after building the doomsday shelters. When the time comes, fucking put morphine in me. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and
And
Yeah.
then hid it in the
then I think he
garden.
basically asked his nurse, which is the physician, who's just like, "How would I die painlessly?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"This is how
You
you
just
You
die
gotta-
got any ideas?
Yeah. No, like,
Asking for a
and
friend.
then he
Asking for he tweets it.
did they actually attempt, or Sheila just stopped it, like nipped it in the bud by
They just
trying to
nipped it.
attack
No,
him?
He just meant like when I'm ready.
No, he
Yeah.
said he would do it on a specific day. He said the
Exactly.
July
So
6th.
like he
Yeah.
hid it in the garden,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
it. But she knew about it because she had
she
bugged
wiretapped
his place.
him.
Oh no way! I
Yeah.
missed that
Yeah.
hard.
She wiretapped everything. About
She
him.
would. Pinche Sheila, man. Like,
And then that's when they start wanting to deport the Bhagwan because they're like, "Oh, you're a religious leader, but you don't talk.
yeah,
Right.
Which is like
He started-
What are you teaching, bro?"
yeah. They started to get enough like traction
And
and
that's
like
when he
popularity
started,
that.
that's when he came out of hiding. Like he got really. That's when he came out, got really defensive, and started.
Well, because
shitting on
No,
because
he
he got
hadn't talked
no,
yet.
he didn't
No,
talk
really?
yet.
Yeah,
no,
no,
that was after.
no, no, no,
That was later.
Sheila got like ultra defensive when she noticed that he started doing drugs.
Well, and
Which
because
is
she was
introduced by
jealous.
the
Let's be
highway.
real. She was really
Right.
jealous of the
Right.
Hollywood lady.
So she went up to him
Pascal.
and said, like, "You're
Yeah.
doing drugs. Like, you're all about not doing drugs." And then she basically
Like
basically
your body
said, like,
is a fucking temple.
Yeah.
2 beers a day.
And he told her to like.
I'm cutting you off.
If I was part of that cult, I'd be like, 4 logos.
Okay, okay, but how many bog washes a day are we allowed? Oh wow, maybe
wow.
I should also be cut off.
People.
I'm gonna pour myself some more.
No, but he basically told her to like get the fuck out of here. And
He's
she was
like, what did he say? He's like, shut your mouth
Should
or
stay out of it.
stay out of. Damn, I don't know what I would do if a man told me to
Seriously,
stay
I'm
out
surprised
of
she
it.
didn't
I
kill
would-
him like right then and there. She built that entire thing like
I'm gonna murder
pretty much
you.
on her shoulders.
That's like,
Give me a time and day.
yeah, I
Stay out of
literally
it, I'm
would.
having fun.
I would have almost the same reaction, to be honest.
I'm surprised
So
she
then
didn't kill her there.
that dude, when they try to get him deported because of the vow of silence thing, and then Niren's like, if the Pope has a what does he say? He's like, if he has like his throat
Laryngitis.
hurts or whatever,
Yeah.
are you
He
gonna
misses a day.
deport him?
He says, if the Pope has laryngitis and he misses a day, are you gonna deport him? That's basically.
So
He lives in
stupid.
fucking Vatican. You can't deport him.
It's true though. You can't like for him to not speak. That's not something you can
Justify.
justify.
I
Like, what kind of
disagree.
thing is that? What? You
I
can be a religious
disagree.
leader
like
without
as part of his
speaking.
teachings.
So when you go to church, do you listen to a priest just sit down?
There are different churches, Gio. There are
But
different religions.
you're supposed to be teaching something. What are you teaching if you're quiet?
Well, his teachings are in writing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but why are you celebrating masses or whatever you're doing if you're not talking?
The point is, it's
They're
a religion.
practicing his
Yeah.
teachings. I think like he's more like, yeah, I definitely kind of think the vow of silence like was more like him being lazy.
Yeah, obviously being like.
I
"Oh,
guess
do
I'm
shit."
Catholic as fuck. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
you gotta.
Yeah,
there could, I
to
mean,
be
there's
honest.
probably religions out there where you don't see the religious leader, and obviously,
Well, like Buddhism, you don't
Right.
have, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have the Buddha, but he's not like the Buddha is not like God. Like you wouldn't like worship the Buddha the way you do
Right.
God. You know, he's like a symbol of the faith, but the faith is very much like rooted in your practices, your meditation,
Right.
But
your
okay.
rejection of
but
materialism.
like, I mean,
So-
let's be real though. Like the government's just throwing shit at the wall and just seeing which one sticks.
well,
right?
because they couldn't find
They couldn't find anything
Yeah,
that
they
can
couldn't
incriminate
find
them.
anything to get him on, but they knew they were doing something sketchy. They just
Yeah.
couldn't figure it
They just
out.
couldn't figure out.
Me as a cop.
Yeah, you know, like exactly.
I'm on to you.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but I'm on to you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then
much vodka.
so Sheila stopped him trying to die, the Bhagwan trying to die by like attacking his physician, right? Like he used Shanti to do that.
Shanti was like, "I'll do it."
Shanti tried
Yeah.
to like, inject
Shan-
him when-
yeah,
On his
Shanti.
butt, they-
Yeah, it was like during like wasn't like during like one of the like the
But
a
okay, so
festival, yeah.
before all that happens,
uh-huh.
sorry, which I kind of wanted to touch base with, like what Kenny said earlier on, that he kind of rejects his teachings and kind of goes back so many times
Mm-hmm.
with the whole marriage thing, because that's kind of when
Yeah.
everything comes out, when it's like, oh,
Right,
I don't
yeah.
believe in marriage, like that's dumb. And then all these people are doing that scam to get citizenships and getting married.
Yeah,
Like the way they did that was crazy. Like wouldn't
Smart.
they would bring
It's
the person
super
in,
smart.
they would like bring
a person
move
in.
them out to a different state, have them like fake organically meet,
Yeah.
date for a few months, get married, and then move to Oregon.
Well, they would have them marry someone who lived in the United States, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they would, they basically fake relationship.
They were
even
fucking
if
doing this shit in India too. Like,
even if they had relationships, they would bring them in,
Yeah.
have them get married, and then go back to their town, and then go back to their relationships. And it was
Yeah.
crazy. And this happened on a wide scale. Like, how many thousands of people moved from India?
and
Yeah.
so right after that comes out, the arson thing happens with The Office.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that after?
No,
Wasn't there
that's, like,
another
right
election?
after.
There was another election out where they lost the election, right?
The Rajneesh lost the election.
They lost the election,
Yeah, they did.
the Wesco County election.
Yes, because
Because
all
they
the
wanted-
homeless people that kicked out voted
Couldn't vote.
against them.
Right. So
Yeah.
so they couldn't. They were trying to get seats on the Wesco County so that they can kind of
Yes.
slowly control the Wesco County.
Yeah.
And they tried to get the votes, but they couldn't. They didn't let the homeless people vote. So they tried to poison people, right? They,
Right.
They
Yeah.
tried
Them to
So
suppress
crazy.
to suppress voters, which I don't think would like really work unless you suppress that many voters.
voters. You suppressed them to bed or the grave.
And
How
then
many
the,
people in
and
Antelope
then,
eat salad?
Yeah.
and then the, but that's what was so crazy. They did a bunch of different ones. Whatever. The point was the box of chocolates thing.
Oh.
Also,
Oh, that
So-
was
Wait,
so
what?
stupid.
Why am I
So
missing that?
I bet that was the Godfather thing idea.
I don't recall.
Okay,
She
so
wasn't
after
in-
they lost the election, Sheila basically was
so dumb.
Sheila was super pissed.
do something like that.
What? Drop
Yeah.
chocolates on somebody?
After she lost the election,
Yeah.
Sheila was super pissed, obviously, that she lost.
Yeah.
So she burned down the county, wherever they held the county documents. She burned down the entire building,
Amazing.
and then she sent a box of chocolates
Allegedly.
to all like the main players of the government side, who like
the Chris would do that.
yeah.
What?
For the record.
And then also, but
For the
the
record,
crazy thing.
Wait.
There was one chocolate in the center of the box of chocolates that had a pinprick on the bottom, so they poisoned the chocolate. They tried to kill.
Bitch.
They tried to kill the main
These
players.
two dudes got super sick. His like daughter got sick also. Were in the hospital, like almost
Government
dying.
officials, yeah.
So that's so crazy. Oh no, Chris would send hot fries.
I'd like to just point out that Ma'aman Sheila is a Capricorn. I am a Virgo.
Are you?
I
You're
would
down.
not. No, I would not. That's what I'm saying. I
Oh.
have
No, he'd be down if she was in Aquarius.
That's what I'm talking about. Ah! Don't get me
Also,
started on the Aquarius.
She's a Capricorn.
Capricorn.
okay, and
Okay.
then
Okay.
right after that, because Sheila is obviously very much losing her shit,
Pet tea.
is when when she gets Shanti to fucking inject his buttocks.
Right, because she
Yeah.
hears about the
with
whole
poison, right?
The way she recalled that scene, she was just like when she does the injection and she's like, and then she feigns like he
She's
starts
like,
to
"What's wrong
stumble
with
and just
you?"
like, yeah,
Oh
like,
yeah,
are
it's,
you okay?
I've
What's
seen that
wrong?"
in a horror movie
Yo,
before. Yeah.
yo, you good?
I can
Yeah.
film that in a horror. Like I can see it scene for scene of him just like stumbling around. The camera's just kind of.
Oh my god, it's all
You
blurry
good?
and
Yeah.
she's going out of
And
focus
he's
like,
like, "Is everything okay?"
with the public
Is
behind
everything
her,
okay?"
and she's
then
like,
she,
"What
walks in.
happened?"
And she said she even got lost in the crowd after. Like it's
Yeah.
perfectly
Oh.
set up for a movie.
So
Haley,
good.
next
Well,
to
that
the-
So
movie's
good.
coming
Yeah, I'm
out with
writing
Priyanka.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that?
What?
they're
There's a
making
movie
one?
coming out?
Yeah, they're cast Priyanka
As Sheila. I live for it.
One
Are
of
you
the
serious?
attorneys looks like Ryan Gosling. I don't remember which one, but anyway, that's
The one with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I
okay.
said that to you when I watched
Oh, I forgot. And I thought of it on my own, so I agree with
it.
you.
It wasn't Kelly though. Kelly's the finest fox. Anyways, that's when Sheila decides to leave.
Yeah.
Because she's like, there's no.
Point.
After, yeah, no, Sheila decided to leave, and also, what's her name?
Shanti.
Like
Shanti
40
goes with
people
her.
followed her
I love how
out.
they waited
yeah.
till Shanti tried to kill him to leave instead of doing it
No,
before.
that was the turning point because she's
Yeah,
like, if
they
they find out
failed.
about this,
We're fucked. Yeah.
we gotta get the fuck out of here.
yeah.
Shouldn't have done it.
And so that's 1985. So it's been
Yeah.
4 years of this
Life. Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Very well put.
Summer camp
And then that's when fucking Bhagwan
loses his shit.
Breaks
breaks.
the headline. Bhagwan breaks his silence.
Yeah.
Sheila's a whore and I hate her. It was so petty. Like,
I wrote down some disses somewhere.
well, say
Continue
all
talking.
of the disses, please.
Wait. My favorite quote from Niran was that if the United States decides to get you, they will get you.
Yo.
Yeah.
Because that was literally like my like paranoid ass like mentality. Like I was
Yeah.
like, yes, you're right.
There's this one quote. She's like, "Oh, she's drugged. She's on hard drugs."
Yeah.
And then there was one. where-
Ironically, because he is.
yeah.
With his eyes super red.
He's like, she's fucked up.
I love his like deadpan expression when he's saying these lines too.
Can we talk about the way he rolls his R's? Or like the way he like,
Right.
he's like,
I don't think I
this
noticed.
is not fear.
Royce Roll.
And like, we'll take this long pause and then be like, you are
He definitely
control.
makes it- I feel like
So,
he definitely does make an effort to sound like prophetic.
so
what I mean?
extra.
Like,
Yeah.
There's one where he says, "I've never made love to her. That is for certain. I make it a point to never make love to a secretary." And then everyone's like, "Ooh,
Ooh, yeah. I remember that. They were like, sick burn.
Can I just say that I think that's horseshit? Like they were banging for years.
oh, I don't know."
You think?
Definitely. He was banging all the women in that cult. For sure.
Well,
he
I'm
was
just basing off what we saw.
no.
Yeah.
He for sure. You really think she's gonna talk about that during the documentary?
No.
I think every woman that was near him, Sunshine or whatever the fuck her name was,
Yeah.
all of them were banging him.
Well, because yeah, in the documentary they definitely downplayed like how much like the followers downplayed how
Right.
much like weird sex they were having. Probably so because I mean that obviously takes away their credibility. But the townspeople were like, yeah, you'd walk down the street and they'd just be
Yeah,
like
having sex everywhere.
disgusting.
And
like,
how would
open
the cult
sex.
leader not be having sex? You know.
Right, for sure.
How do you not use your power like that? Like
He's
all
pure.
all
Oh,
leader-
show is pure.
all leaders of cults
Yeah,
use that. That's
Yeah.
their trait. Like
Yeah.
There's this other line that he said, "She did not prove to be a woman. She proved to be a perfect bitch." And then everyone was like, "Oh,
yeah, dude. Like he just
can you deliver that again?
okay."
That was too soft.
yeah.
I'm sorry. You want to read it?
You gotta do
Okay.
it like
With conviction. Let me
Yeah.
see. Okay. She did not prove to be a woman. She proved to be a perfect bitch.
oh the bitch. That's
Oh.
wait, Chris, you gotta take a
Oh yeah, Chris,
stab
Chris,
at
your
this.
turn, your
Can I
turn.
read it?
Crush
Yes.
it.
Okay.
But don't look at me when you say it, because I feel like you mean it. To be honest.
I need inspiration. I'm just kidding.
I know. Don't look at me.
What? I didn't say that. Who said that? Shh. She did not prove to be a woman. She proved to be a perfect bitch.
Wait. No, say it like a Bhagwan, like with a slow drawl
Yeah.
to his. She did not prove.
She did not prove
To be a woman.
And I'm not gonna do it.
She proved to
She
be a
proved, like,
perfect.
kindly not
bitch.
gonna do
He would just roll his R's for no
She
reason.
proved to be
Like
a
it wasn't an
bitch.
accent. No,
Perfect
because you know what I mean. He didn't have like.
bitch.
I didn't think his accent was like
prove.
thick. He just spoke with
I
a
think I just
slow
have a-
drawl.
I need to have a vibe like I'm slowly dying and I know it.
You need a beard. Is the problem.
Oh, really? You're gonna make a comment on my genetics right now?
You? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Honest.
from a cult.
Chris did not prove to be.
She did not prove to be a woman. She proved
Yikes.
to be a perfect bitch.
That honestly felt pretty close.
You
Yeah,
sounded
you
like,
got the drugs
You sounded like Jafar.
He.
Sorry.
I thought that
came out.
that was solid. 7. I give you a 7.
Could be better. I appreciate the feedback. I'll deliver feedback.
Oh, I love that they called her
trust
the
me.
Empress Strikes Back.
The
You remember
Emperor- was
that?
that the year? When did Empire come down?
I don't know.
This
Yeah,
was like
that
mid
was-
This
80s.
was
They
relevant.
called her the Empress Strikes
Do you want me
Back.
to
This was
Google?
85. I think it came out 81, no?
Okay, let me check. Hold up.
I'm almost certain that it was
Did we talk
81.
about the beaver thing?
No, that's the last thing I want to talk about.
It came out 1980.
Damn it, I was close. So episode 5 is kind of where Osho and Sheila are going at it back and forth in interviews. Like, I don't fuck her.
Well, he was stupid and fat. Like, they literally get so petty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
And he gets
like
the
I
new
don't
secretary, which is the
The Hollywood lady.
Hasia.
He
Hasia,
basically,
yeah.
but I mean, the one major thing that happened.
You honestly don't think he was fucking her? Like, for reals?
No, it doesn't.
No, but for reals, though.
It doesn't matter what I think. It's just
No,
what they presented to us.
But do you think he was fucking her?
I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't say that he didn't fuck her on live television just to be.
Yeah,
like,
because it was a diss. She was probably like, yeah, I did. Like,
No, but I actually feel like if that were like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's so blunt that I feel like she would come
Yeah.
on the next interview and be, like,
I did.
yes, I did. And
his
he was
dick
bad.
was small.
Ba-dum-tsh, you know what I mean?
No,
she'd
I
be
think-
like,
I
she'd
think
be like,
they
I
did
sure
fuck.
did, and it curves to the right. Dun-tsh, you know, like I feel like she would. I feel like she would put him on blast hard. You know?
They fucked.
But one major thing that happened from this is that Bhagwan basically incriminated Sheila for all the shit she did.
Yeah.
And just opened this entire.
No,
can
but the
of
funny thing
worms.
is, like, the
Yeah.
dude, the district attorney or whatever says,
This is what. Yeah.
bro, this is how we got
Yeah,
him.
this
The
is what-
moment
yeah.
he opened his mouth, he
Yeah.
ruined everything.
They
Yeah.
were doing good. Like they didn't have anything really to go against them until he basically.
And
opened
then
his
that's
mouth
what brings the FBI on the
on
ranch.
their ranch.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they discover all the secret tunnels, passageways.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everything's bugged. They said this was the worst, like, spy, like, Watergate incident
Yeah.
since
They're like,
Watergate.
it's 10 times worse than Watergate. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All those tunnels.
But think about all the shit, like, how boring to have listened to fucking white people talk about, like, their, like, emotional journeys or whatever. Like, they had to listen to, like, hours and hours of,
interviews.
Yeah.
bro, your energy's, like, not great today. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think they're even talking
People who
about?
like are really out of their minds. Yeah.
At this point,
I feel like this isn't your journey for you today. Like,
Honestly, it probably was just them like boning a lot.
At
We
this
talk a
point-
lot about boning in this episode. Like,
Hasia replaced Sheila, right?
Yes.
because their
Hasia,
sex
yeah.
isn't even that good.
Hasia replaced Sheila as
Probably
the
not.
secretary, and then our boy Niren
Was the
replaced
mayor.
The mayor.
They just do
Yeah.
like a crazy position and they're like, oh shit, enlightenment. Like, I don't think it was like that wild. You know what I mean?
I really kind of like. I mean, I'm really going off of just the documentary footage, but like it really just kind of seemed like it was like men just grabbing women and
trying to
like,
be
forcing
animalistic.
themselves, but then it's like, but I don't know. Like,
I mean,
they also seem not upset when they talk about that, if you know what I mean.
Of
Like the women
course.
seem like they like
because
the
they probably
like
haven't
Shanti.
been fucked. Right.
But I'm saying like, I don't know. I feel like because like that actually Sheila like actually addressed that in an interview like on cable television, was like, you guys are just awkward as fuck because you guys have horrible sex, but like we're boning 24/7 and y'all are mad. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I just don't
like-
think of those like good signs.
I liked how women had a lot of power in the community too, though.
Did they,
yeah,
though?
it wasn't like a
Did they,
gender.
though?
I think so. I think it wasn't
Her whole-
like
her whole
a
council was full of
gender-based
women,
power
yeah.
structure.
Because
was
it was
more of a-
Sheila calling the shots.
But Sheila had women working
Right.
for her also, and men.
And they also had, like, during construction, you know, everyone wanted a piece of everything.
yeah, everyone did everything. Like, yeah, I don't think
Women
that.
weren't forced to do one certain role or like.
Yeah,
But I mean, how hard is it to be happy in that place when you don't have to work? You don't have to do anything you want to do. You're not, you know, you're pretty much just self-sufficient, and you're like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just a community of people just eating drugs.
And then,
Yeah.
dude, when they bring up the first time they bring up Pooja is when our Prince Overalls. Do you want to share this part? The Pooja part.
Yeah.
This is your favorite part.
Are you referring to the part that I like texted you about?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my fucking god.
Because he's amazing.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
So Prince Overalls. What's his actual name?
John Silvertooth.
John Overalls.
Your boy Silvertooth.
Yeah. John,
Your boy.
John Overalls, Silvertooth, the Prince, the first of his name, and all that good stuff. fucking refers to Pooja, and he said, and the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, it's like, anyway, let me talk about it. So, he mentions Pooja, but he accidentally refers to her as puta.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, that's a bad word in Spanish, huh?
Puta,
Doesn't he say
Pooja.
Go fuck myself.
Wait, doesn't he say Mexican, Chris?
Does he say Mexican?
I don't think
Is
he
he
said
Mexican or Spanish?
He said Spanish. I think.
Oh, okay.
Let me
Yeah.
check the Twitter.
He's like puta, Pooja.
He seemed like the unproblematic phase.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
you know,
him.
like just
Definitely.
like the
He's a wholesome boy.
They
Yeah.
never showed him like actually arguing like back then, like old videos of him.
He's just having fun.
he
No,
doesn't.
he's just looking through the
Yeah.
trash, man.
Yeah, he just seemed like
He's
like
a rock-
This is ridiculous.
only
Dumpster
in
diver.
this
He's a
documentary.
raccoon boy.
raccoon boy. I love
He's
it.
a rocket raccoon.
Yeah,
My overalls wearing Rocket Raccoon.
yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah. Sheila takes her and her small council,
yeah.
Her round table.
her round table, to Germany. Germany.
Was it Germany?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's like right after her like the mayor like turns on her and like
yeah,
testifies against them.
yeah. And
And
so they
then-
fled.
And then that's when they
Do the investigation.
bag the Bhagwan.
They bag
Dun,
the Bhagwan.
dun, dun. Yeah. Well, didn't Bhagwan didn't he just fucking take off?
So he was trying to like fucking flee to like
He also left.
shit. Bermuda?
She almost hit the fan.
he was trying to
Oh, yeah.
fucking flee to Bermuda and it's like bro, he could have ended up in the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, we almost
Imagine.
had like a giant full out like war.
Bermuda.
Almost happened.
Bermuda, yeah.
There was all they had like their armies pretty much set up on the border of this town, and then
Yeah.
they were all like.
Do you think
armored
we
with
would have
weapons.
investigated him on the Bermuda Triangle?
No.
What could have been? That would have been like the ultimate Bermuda Triangle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got lost in
The
the
fucking
Bermuda Triangle.
Bhagwan. Yeah. So that was when he had already switched to his name being Osho, right?
No, not yet.
No, that's
Not
That's
yet?
when
That's
he
when he
gets
moves
to
back.
India.
to India.
Yeah, that was towards like the end of his life.
Oh, okay. So he got
Spoiler.
caught extradited.
That's how it ends. He gets extradited, and then they keep moving him around in prison, so he's getting older.
Yeah.
I think that's
they
around the
didn't
time he
extradite him
started
because
to
he wasn't- he didn't leave the
denounce
country.
that they were a religion. Like,
No.
I honestly
No?
wasn't sure how I was using
Might
that
be.
word.
Oh,
Thank you.
extradited
No, yeah.
means like
Yeah, like,
Fuck.
okay.
extradited is
He
if you're
started
wanted in
to, like,
another
denounce
country.
it.
Okay,
And then-
okay, yeah. No,
if-
he got deported then.
yeah, then they'll deport you just to do the trial. But
Yeah.
some countries don't.
But he
allow
was told to
extradition.
fight. He was told,
Like
yeah, like
Switzerland.
Germany.
Oh, okay.
Or
So that's why they
Switzerland.
fled there. Yeah, right.
He was like too old to like deal with the whole trial thing. It was just
Oh,
like,
that was sad. Where they like pretty much dragged him around on
bro,
purpose
he was a
to like
piece
tire
of
him
shit, dude.
He wasn't even that old. He was like
out.
50.
Yeah, he was like,
50.
Shut up.
He was 45.
Not that old.
Deceit
Also,
ages you.
yeah, they definitely did
Yeah.
that. So
I love that, like, after
That's a
everything
tactical strategy.
happens,
What?
like, after, like, they're like, oh, I'm not going to trial or whatever, and he goes back to India, and he's like, I never want to return to the United States ever
Right.
again. Like,
A
you
mood.
have no choice. Shut up.
That's like when someone gets fired or someone gets kicked off a team. It's like, well, I don't want to be with you losers anyway.
I-
or like when you
Yeah.
get dumped.
I know.
Before
Yeah.
that, he had so much respect for America and the Constitution.
The
He was like, "Oh, I love the
Constitution."
Constitution. Like, it's one
Yeah.
of the, you know.
He
Yeah.
really wanted to suck the Constitution's dick, like, all
Facts.
day, every day.
Roll up the
Facts.
Constitution.
And his Rolls
Yeah,
Royce and,
If Gio
and
could
Rolex
murder
watches.
the Bhagwan himself,
I would have done it.
Yeah, I believe you.
I believe you too. I don't think anything you've said has
I would bag the Bhagwan.
Yeah.
Okay,
in
okay,
the
okay.
negative way.
Yeah, so that's when he changes his name to Osho.
Yeah,
What?
no, because he denounced everything.
It was a
Like,
Japanese
Ye-
thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a Japanese thing. He basically
Cultural appropriation.
Bhagwash became a weeaboo.
He spent a lot of time
like,
watching anime in
What I
prison.
didn't understand either is the whole
He watched
reason.
anime.
The
Bhagwan
whole
watched
reason why
anime.
they even went to Oregon or whatever wasn't because he was trying to build this perfect commune. It was.
It was to expand.
Did I click anything? I don't
I
know.
think you're good.
Okay. It wasn't because he was trying to, like, he was literally fleeing because of, like, taxes and all the fucking
they
crazy
revealed that
ass
at the
shit
end.
that, like,
Yeah, that this one detective journalist went over to India to kind of investigate more. Or
Yeah.
investigative
So what
journalist.
I didn't understand was what the fuck when they went back, was it just back to normal until he died or what? Like India
Kinda.
didn't care?
Yeah, he wasn't really expanding more.
I think they actually even went back to the old like commune.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's where he died.
Yeah. I think it was just business as usual. They're
And then like Niren's like, look at all these like white people coming here for enlightenment. They don't even know, posers.
yeah.
What? Did I click it?
No, just
That's true. Why?
to pop up. It just
Oh, I don't think so. I think we're
Okay.
good.
okay.
You know, like, what was I even saying?
Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, what
Don't
laws
recall.
were they breaking in India?
Bog washes.
Immigration, the
taxes.
same shit. Immigration, taxes, like
Yeah.
even arson.
Yeah.
Even
Oh.
ours, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I,
don't
guess
know.
they weren't as big when they went back. I don't know.
Well, because only like his really ride or dies went back with him, or that those that could afford it, and then he just kind of lived out the exact same thing, but now called Osho, and he like wrote books and stuff too. No, so like he
published
got
books.
money other ways. Yeah.
Right.
But then also, like, they said he, like, when he died or whatever, that it was like overdose. It wasn't even.
Yeah, he OD'd. Yeah.
Oh, and then she was like, "That's what you guys get." Like you thought.
I protected him
Yeah.
in my time.
you guys failed to
Like,
protect him.
Yeah.
Who OD'd him? Was it the nurse guy, the physician?
I kind of thought
yeah,
he did
it was him because he was still there.
He was the last.
Really?
Yeah, he was the guy
he
who
was
last
still
saw him, right?
there.
wild.
Well, so was Niren.
Sketch.
I don't think Niren.
But
poisoned him.
Niren was pure of heart.
He was the true savior.
But then
Yeah.
what's funny is like this whole thing fucking ends in this vicious circle. Like because the place gets bought as this like Christian
I thought that
camp.
was so. It's just situationally
Situational.
ironic that it got bought up by this like church.
And then it's like abstinence.
abstinent youth,
Which is what like traditionally that's what cults are. They're like the super hypocritical, like abstinence only, but I'm gonna go ahead and like
But it's
rape
just-
children secretly.
It's just so
you know,
funny
like,
how like basically all religion started off as a cult, but just since Catholics are so desensitized, and we're just so
no.
desensitized to other religions now that
I'm gonna say no.
I don't think you understand Catholicism.
I don't think religions start out as cults. When it becomes a cult is when you look to a human leader as this end all be all and follow all of their practices. When because like religions, you know, like monolithic religions, ones that follow only one god.
Yes.
That it's like
Oh, monotheism.
monotheism.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Monolithic is right though.
At me, bro. You know, like you know, like even like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, which is like they they all follow the you know like the teachings of this being that isn't like on earth. Like I feel like where cults go wrong in a lot of ways is like they follow the selfishness and humanism of like a person, you know what I mean? And like they're like fundamentally flawed.
What about like Jesus though, or like Gandhi?
Gandhi isn't a religion.
Gandhi was trash.
Gandhi, like no,
Gandhi
he was.
trash.
He wasn't like a religious leader.
Right.
He wasn't.
He
So I
raped
don't know.
his
What you're-
wife and like a lot of like his followers.
yeah, he did a lot of creepy shit for sure. Like and then him freeing India actually like did a lot of other harm.
What
But anyway,
my beef with most of it was like the vow of silence. That was the moment that I was like, I can't trust you at all. Because I guess I also don't understand what a vow of silence means, because she would communicate with him. And
yeah,
like, was it just in private that he
was
would
for sure
speak?
him being lazy.
No,
Just didn't-
I understand
But, like, how did it
that.
work?
But what I'm saying is, like, there are multiple times in the documentary where, Sheila went and talked to the Bhagwan and told us his, like, what he was saying, or, like,
yeah.
so, like, was he talking in private?
Yeah, I think
and
that
then
sounds to them meant that he just didn't speak publicly. He
I just don't trust someone who can be quiet for that long. Like, I talk too much. Like, how can you just
Be quiet.
bro, if you're quiet for that long, I just don't trust you. Like, you're onto something. You're scheming. You're being sketched. Like,
I think he just didn't want to be the voice of it. Like,
If it all backfired, like
if
he
you've
could
been
have like
doing
a
this
fall
this
in the form
long,
of Sheila.
You're fucked up.
you know what? I almost kind of wonder if he like did that also because
what was it?
like I wonder if he took the vow of silence because like I was just saying how like cults tend to fail because it's led by like a human leader. Like I wonder if he kind of took that fat step back to just become more of this like deity.
But then he was saying that he didn't want that. So what is
Right,
it?
well that's bullshit. Like everything about this thing is bullshit. Like you know what I mean? But, like I wonder if he did that for like effect. You know what I mean? So then
How
people are
could
like,
you
oh,
ever worship a person that much? I don't understand.
well,
Like,
you're not
You're not
down.
in a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but like as a person, like how do you guys like explain that?
Like the logic.
I don't
Yeah.
think
the
it's
same mentality of religion. I mean, honestly.
yeah.
But okay,
That's
I
what I
feel
said.
like religion, like, okay, you don't know that that person's there or whatever. You don't have a person to like fuck up and make mistakes or whatever. It's just
Right.
kind of this blind faith. How do you do
Yes.
that with an actual living
Well,
person?
it's less of a blind faith because you have somebody to put trust in, right?
Yeah.
Because with
Yeah.
religion, you have this sort of outworldly, spooky
Yeah.
thing
Right.
to worship. Where in a cult, you have a person to worship.
It's
Right.
it's humanized.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
becomes,
It has form.
Because
Yeah.
I was trying to think about it like as a celebrity or something that someone that I like admire a lot, and I was like, how could I get to that point? How could I be like,
I see
this
it,
person's
yeah.
it? Like,
You know, I kind of see it more as like a comparable example would be like with politicians.
Right.
How like people invest everything into a politician, like with Bernie, for example. Like Bernie can do no wrong. Like he's like this amazing person that's gonna free us
Right.
all. And then when that, you know what I mean? Like people literally like bought stickers, went to his campaigns, like people who never went or even voted before. You know, they're like ride or die. But they opened like a Bernie cafe.
Hey.
There's like a Bernie
Yeah.
cafe in LA where like all the proceeds
well,
would like go to
disclaimer,
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie's a great
It's-
fucking person.
No, I'm not
and-
saying that. I'm he's dope, but it's a cult of personality.
It's a cult of personality.
Yeah.
It's a lot-
It's the same. It's,
You just like you personally don't like Bhagwan, and I
It's-
don't blame you because I didn't. You know what I mean? But like I think that's like the same fundamental belief.
It's easy for people to rally around a single person than it is, you know, because they do all the work. You know, you're basically just agreeing. It's easier for people to agree with someone than it is to actually do actual thinking and, you know, starting around. That's why any like civil rights movements, they always work better with one leader who's
Yeah.
like, you know, rallying everyone up.
Yeah.
Any other civil movement that doesn't have a leader, they kind of just like dissipate, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, for
Fizzle
sure.
out.
You need like a face of
It'll have its
something.
15
I
minute
guess
phase.
it's good
Take the
to be
blame, you need the
close-minded.
face. Right.
You won't get into a cult. At
That's
least.
all I'm
it's
saying.
both, right? I mean, it's radical of any.
You can't get me
mindset
in
is
your
the
cult.
issue.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I mean, and I think like also you're not the personality of someone who would like get into a cult because it's like people who followed him were rich, lost people. Like
Right.
you know, like
We
they
just
were.
wanted a sense of community.
They felt like they're following the motions of Western life, and then they're like, "Why? I went on this spiritual journey, and
Right.
it changed my perspective." You know,
It's this giant like hole in your soul that you want filled
Fill the
either
void.
through like religion
They,
or
Yeah.
I mean, they prey on vulnerable.
That's
and
just white
weak
people.
weak people.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Sorry.
well, it's not just white. It's not just white people. I mean, you had Om Shinrikyo in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
who they did their own brand of brainwashing and whatnot. It's just
yeah,
it's vulnerable people.
It's also worth noting that the like Bhagwan's practices or Osho's practices were like international. Like he had
Yeah,
they're
still
chapters around the world.
Yeah, they had that World Fair where they had people from literally all around the world. from, like,
Yeah, it was
Japan.
basically like fucking Woodstock
yeah,
for the
but for,
Bhagwan.
like, the entire world.
Yeah.
That dance club did look pretty lit.
It looks
Disco-
tight.
That was the
Discoteca?
only.
That looks so tight. Like
Then I was like, oh shit, because it was the 80s, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
listening to like Depeche Mode, like wearing all red, like
it's like
on your 2 beers that are like full of sedatives.
I get invited. I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad.
Gio's down.
Oh, we got another one. Ring the bell.
Do you get kicked out if you don't wear red?
Yes.
I don't know.
They had the fucking boutique. You had to wear
What if you
red.
didn't wear
And
red
then
that
he's
day?
like, JK, we're gonna, and the girl's like,
we're not organized religion.
Or freedom of colors.
Red is fuck that red.
and that girl's like, I would die for a turquoise sweater.
They definitely tried to completely rebrand the entire cult after all that shit happened. They're
Yeah.
like, you can wear any color. You don't have to.
It's like when you turn in. Sorry, it's like when you turn in your rough draft and your teacher's like, "This is crap," and you like go back, rework it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was. Like, yeah, just rebranding, more digestible for the masses.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
Anyway,
shit's crazy. Watch it on Netflix.
it's
really good. It's a
truly a
quality watch.
wild ride.
Even with these spoilers, like if you see that footage, it's crazy.
sustainable.
This was all one
Speaks for
big
itself.
promo.
Reusable water.
Yeah, you're welcome, Netflix.
Shut
Shut up,
house.
Kenny. It was horrible.
What? What'd you say?
He's all trying to talk up this cult. Like,
So if you want to do the group meditation with me and Kenny
good
next
points
weekend,
to it.
we'll have a meetup.
All right, so for the Rajneesh revival, we're going to be meeting at the Denny's parking lot on Camino del Rio South
going to
in
Punk Rock
Mission
Denny's
Valley. What's up?
Punk Rock Denny's?
Where's Punk Rock Denny's?
Are we going to Punk Rock Denny's? Oh, you know, if you don't know Punk
Have
Rock
I-
Denny's, you've never been to Punk Rock
Chris,
Denny's.
shut the fuck up. You don't even know what that
Chris, shut
is.
the fuck up. You don't know what that is. I've been to Punk
Yeah,
Rock Denny's.
Chris.
I am Punk
just
Rock
say
Denny's.
bitch again. That was amazing. I just-
Bitch?
No.
Nice.
In his own,
Wow.
in his own,
His
like
draw.
Osho.
I need the whole quote again.
Okay.
Read it.
That's a good end
Pretty
sign
please.
off.
Let's end on that note.
Okay.
Kenny, your handwriting. I'm going to give you some feedback about that later.
That's me.
Are you a doctor by any chance?
Got him?
Classic.
She did not prove to be a woman. She proved to be a perfect bitch.
You had to
you.
roll the B a little bit. Bitch.
Bitch.
Well, I don't know. This is just how I'm talking. This is just my dialect.
Can you read this? Actually, let's end with Jorge doing this
Timothy.
for us.
Do you want here?
Jimothy, anonymity.
At the top here?
Oh, you gotta.
Could
the
you
bottom
do
center.
an
It's
at the
Indian
bottom
accent?
center.
Is that racist? Sorry.
Yeah.
This writing is fucked.
It's okay. It's. I was in a very. I did some.
Can you do better?
What am I supposed to be reading here?
The bottom
She did
center.
not
She did
prove-
not.
She did not.
She
prove-
did not prove to be a woman. She proved to be a perfect bitch? Question mark?
Bitch.
with conviction.
With
Yeah,
I
like
can't.
you're-
I don't know her.
Yo, you gotta burn
Imagine we're a
her.
crowd of
Perfect
thousands.
bitch.
Yeah.
You gotta
there you go.
burn her.
Imagine the
Yeah.
biggest bitch in the world, and then say it.
You know, me and my buddies have been. Have you guys watched Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Yes.
So my buddies and I have been. We've been going. Aw, bitch. Aw, for the last like week and a half. Aw, bitch.
Can I borrow that? I want to spread. I want to spread the good word. Kind of in a culty like.
Yeah, you can spread off, bitch.
Aw, bitch.
Should we do a cheers? With our bog
Cheers. For the
Cheers.
bag wash.
Nightmare episode,
Pour
right?
one out for the homie.
For whom?
Nightmare on Elm
For
Street.
the homie, for
Oh,
Bogwan.
Yeah. Rick and Morty.
What should
season
we do
4 dropping
next?
This November. Follow me on Twitter. It's also a Rick and Morty at. Just kidding.
Are you plugging your Twitter?
Edit that out.
No, it's, it's
Please.
a private
Edit that out.
Twitter. No one's
You're
allowed
gonna
to
get
follow
some.
me.
Go to Who Goes Your Cop.
I never even said my Twitter, so don't.
Oh, don't forget to listen to Who Goes There podcast.
Yeah, it's a great podcast.
You like horror movies? I got you.
Hey.
And then what's the other one?
What?
What's the other one?
That's the only one.
Emo Brown.
I don't give a fuck about Emo Brown, dude.
You literally have stickers for it. I'm looking at them now. No one cares. Don't listen about emo.
Don't
Brown.
listen to Emo Brown.
The saddest Mexican. ¿Quién importa?
Who Goes
It's all
There
about
is
who
bomb,
goes there.
though.
That's right.
That means listen to Emo Brown. Hi, welcome to ASMR.
Yeah.
I hate
Like
that.
Please
Music
end the
Institute.
podcast now.
Yes, goodbye. How
Now,
do we
ASMR
goodbye,
time.
sign out? How do we?
Is he doing Emo Brown ASMR right now?
Let's
Yeah.
have fun, sexy time.
Don't
Ew.
say sexy time.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've been cussing all night, and I can't say
Chris is
sexy
fired.
time. I'm about to go off right now.
He's
Depends. This is a